Hello everyone, my name is Sean, and I wanted to start a deck tech series for EDH decks. So I have named this EDH Trade Secrets, and I don't know if that name's already taken. I hope it's not, but if it is, then I guess I'll be changing the name. But I wanted to do a deck tech for each of the colors in the color pairings. And so I've gone ahead and started building decks, and this will be my first deck in the series, and which is white, and it's Gisela the Broken Blade. I used to build decks for and do deck techs for CMDR decks for Uriah at CMDR, and he has kind of stopped doing the deck techs. But I wanted to kind of continue on his legacy and give an opportunity. Maybe for some people to post deck techs on a new page under a new name. And I have some pretty interesting build ideas, at least I believe I do. And so we'll get started here with this first deck tech. So this is Gisela the Broken Blade, and if you didn't know, she's flying for strike lifelink. She comes out real fast, and at the beginning of your end step, if you both own and control Gisela and Bruna, then you can exile them and meld them into Brisela, Voice of Nightmares, or as me and my friends refer to her, Guna, Name of Nightmares. So this is a tribute deck, and there's some tribute cards in here, but Gisela and Bruna were some of my very first commander decks, and they were my favorite angels. And I was kind of sad that they went ahead and killed them off. However, this has turned into a really neat deck idea, because as the deck starts out, it kind of starts out as normal, angels and white creatures. But as the deck keeps going on, everything starts to turn into Eldrazi. So it's a really fun idea, and I'm just going to share that idea with you now that I had for the deck. And alright, here we go. So here's Gisela, and the next thing we got here is 18 planes, and I just want to show real quick that I do something special with these planes. So whenever I build a commander deck, I try to get the lands that match the expansion symbol for the commander. So this being the Eldritch Moon, which is part of the Shadows over Innistrad block, I went ahead and chose the Shadows over Innistrad lands. So this is just something you can do with your decks to give them a little more flavor. Alright, so we got some fetches here. I do have some landfall stuff in this deck, so this is just to get some landfall triggers. I don't think it speeds the deck up at all, but to get some landfall triggers. So we got Windswept Heath, Arid Mesa, and Flooded Strand, and Marsh Flats. Okay, and then we have some non-basic land destruction here. So Wasteland, Strip Mine, Dust Bowl, and Ghost Quarter. So those will just help us get rid of Maze of Iths and stuff like that. Then we have Cavern of Souls, so I'll probably name Angel. And then we have High Market. So this is for me, this is like a way to gain life, and because this deck's all about gaining life. And then the other thing is I can sack a creature in response to an exile spell or something like that. Maze of Ith, this thing looks Eldrazi-like with all of its weird stuff that's going on there. And so I went ahead and threw this specific Maze of Ith in there. Arcane Lighthouse, it's just a way to use removal spells or turn off somebody else's hexproof or shroud so I can use removal spells. Miko Koro, some card draw for white, so that's pretty good. I have Ugin is going to let me cast Eldrazi spells for less, and I can search for Eldrazi later on in the game. And some mana ramp for Eldrazi. And this is Nykthos, and so I have a lot of double white mana stuff in the deck, and so this is going to allow me to go ahead and get some mana. for mana ramp? Mana ramp, Ancient Tomb, Temple of the False God. We got Emeria the Sky Ruin, so this is possible recursion. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And Buried Ruin, recursion. Okay, a couple EDH staples, so Swiftfoot Boots, Greaves, Soul Ring for mana ramp. Here we go into ramp cards. Mana Crypt, 3 in Dynamo. Voltaic Key, this is going to help me with the next few artifacts and getting some value out of them. Grim Monolith, Basalt Monolith, Mana Vault, Gilded Lotus. Alright, then we have, I do have a flying creature for my commander. So this, I usually can get some extra lands out of this here. So attack with a creature, get a land. Seems pretty good. Expedition map, help me go to get specific lands, like maybe the Eldrazi temple or something like that. More land search. And more land search, so it's an instant. That's good. Tithe is good. Tithe is good. Nobody may know this card, but I do, and it is a wonderful, wonderful card to have. Land tax. So go get your 3 lands, and what you're doing is you're thinning your deck at the same time as you are getting the land drops that you need to get, and this is a wonderful card to have. Solemn Simulacrum, land ramp, and we're going into card draw. So with going into card draw, here come all the card draw cards. So we have Well of Lost Dreams. We're gaining lots of life with this deck, so there's a real possibility to draw a good amount of cards off of this. Mind's Eye, opponents draw cards, and I can draw cards when they draw cards. This is kind of a goofy. This is a goofy spell in white, but it is an instant, so you can draw 2 cards, or you can gain 2 life for each card that you draw less. Your opponents get to draw cards too, but I've actually found this to be more beneficial for myself than my opponents, at least so far. Truce. What a weird card. Alright, Temple Bell, each player draws a card. And Scroll Rack. Just a way to dig down into the deck and find the things that I'm looking for to get the deck going into the next mode after Angels, which is Eldrazi. So Thalia's Lancers, this is going to let me go find Bruna in the deck, but it is also going to let me find Eldrazi later on if I need to. So that's a pretty good card. Enlightened Tutor, so I can find an artifact or enchantment, so maybe I need some ramp, I don't know, whatever I'm looking for. Let's get into some removal. Swords to Plowshares. Path to Exile. Oblivion Ring, so I can remove other things besides creatures. Vanishing Light, same idea. Orb Silence, blow up an artifact or an enchantment, and just make stuff harder to cast for my opponents in the artifact enchantment world. Angel of Sanctions, more exile. And then it's got this embalm thing here, so you can bring it back as this thing, and so you get to do it twice. So that's good. That's good recursion. Grip of Fate or Grasp of Fate, you can hit a bunch of opponents at once. And no, this is not the. This is a Japanese one. I know it looks like the Phyrexian, but it's not. It's the Japanese one, and this is Elesh Norn. So give -2 to my opponent's creatures. Seems pretty good. Wrath of God. Fumigate, gain some life, and burn the world to the ground. Destroy all creatures. There's Bruna. So Bruna joins forces with Gisela to become this ugly thing over here that has flying, first strike, vigilance, and lifelink. Your opponents can't cast spells with convert mana cost 3 or less. I don't know if I said it already, but that is the secondary game plan. It is not the primary game plan. If you get there, cool. It usually doesn't last very long, but because nobody likes to see this size card on the table. But the main kind of objective is to get into your Eldrazi. So some recursion here. Bruna is also recursion. She'll let you get an angel or a human back from your graveyard when you cast her. So here's some more recursion. So Marshal's Anthem, and creatures get 1/1. Remember the Fallen. This is so sweet. Remember the Fallen, Gisela and Bruna. So choose one or both. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, or return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Both pretty important things for the game. Karmic Guide. Yep. It's got protection from black, and it brings stuff back. Emeria Shepherd. So this is the landfall triggers that I was talking about earlier with the fetch lands. I can get a couple of triggers here, maybe throw something into my hand and then something onto the gravefield, or something onto the battlefield. So that's good. Slipping down there. Okay. All right, let's go with Sun Titan. Sun Titan is recursion. When it enters the battlefield and attacks. Archangel of Tithes. It's just to slow down my game, just a touch. So I can keep some attackers from attacking me. Ghostly Prison, same idea. And then we have Authority of the Councils. Again, this is just a little slowdown, but it's also life gain. Soul's Attendant, here's some more life gain. I think we're getting into life gain stuff now. Auriok Champion, protection from black and red, and whenever a creature comes to play, gain life. Same as Soul's Attendant. Shattered Angel. I've gained so much life with this card because opponents love to play lands, especially green players. Looks on Warhammer, gives something lifelink and trample. Angel of Invention is a flying vigilance lifelinker, and you can put a couple of counters on it or make some servos, whatever. And other creatures you control get 1/1, so it's a little anthem effect. Serra Ascendant, yeah, it feels like cheating, but it's just a really good card, and especially it really fits in this deck. This is the only one I have, so I'm running in this deck because there's lots of lifelink. Archangel of Thune. So, yeah, more lifelink, and then when you gain life, put counters on stuff. Baneslayer, lifelink, and then I think I was liking the protection from demons and dragons. I think that's why that got the choice there. Angelic Skirmisher, this thing is boss. Being able to choose modes for your creatures as they attack or block is pretty wonderful. And then we got Angelic Accord, so you've seen all the lifelink stuff. If we gain 4 more life in a turn, you get a 4/4 White Angel creature token with flying. That seems good. Okay, this is kind of where the deck transforms into the Eldrazi stuff. So here's Lone Rider, and he has first strike and lifelink. And at the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, transform Lone Rider into this terrible thing. Well, it's not terrible, but it's a 4/4 first strike trample lifelink. Sure, that seems good, and it's Eldrazi, so here we go. We're going into the Eldrazi now. Alright, let's see what we got here. This has quickly become one of my favorite cards in this deck. It untaps every untap step, including your opponent's untap steps, and it just dings stuff, burns stuff to the ground, little mana dorks and stuff like that. It makes it so creatures can't attack or block. You can draw cards. It's just been, it's been a baller in this deck. So I really, I love this card. It has been really good for this deck. Conduit of Ruin. So you can cast when you cast Conduit of Ruin, you may search your library for a colorless creature card with converted mana cost 7 or greater. Got a few of those in here, and reveal it. Then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. So it's reducing the cost of stuff, and it's letting me go get exactly what I want to get coming into mid to end game. All is dust. More Eldrazi flavored themey stuff. So each player sacrifices all colored permanents. Ulamog. So I'm pretty sure Commander players are seeing this on the regular right now, because exiling 2 permanents and then blowing off a fifth of a person's library just like that seems horribly good. But yeah, okay, so there's Ulamog, and then we have Kozilek. So Kazi here is in some foreign language, but he has Annihilator 4, and if he goes into your graveyard, then you can shuffle your graveyard back into your library, so it's a nice save effect. That's what I have in here, just in case people are playing mill. And when you cast him, you get to draw 4 cards. And we have Kozilek the Great Distortion. So this one's going to let you fill up to 7 cards in your hand, and then it has Menace, and now I can discard cards to possibly counter spells. So that might be relevant, who knows. And then Emrakul. Emrakul is, of course, why Gisela and Bruna ended up becoming the way that they did. And so taking somebody else's turn just before they take their turn is kind of ridiculous. And I usually can get up to reducing his cost by quite a bit. With stuff in the graveyard. And he's flying trample protection from instants, 13/13. And last but not least is Ugin, and Ugin helped entomb the Eldrazi, so I put Ugin in here, and Ugin is just overall value. I mean, there's a lot of value in this card. So anyway, thanks a lot. Hopefully you'll subscribe to my page and favorite it, and look forward to more deck techs from me. I think I'm skipping blue for the next week, and I'm going to probably go straight to red, but I'll be coming back to blue. I just have to pick a good commander for blue. So anyway, stay tuned, and thanks for watching EDH Trade Secrets.